Hello there, welcome back to Going to Ground after too long an absence. My name's Andrew Rumsey and I'm up on the long barrows, actually the short barrows of Overton Hill behind me here, with the beautiful beach stands that we've seen before on these short films about place and faith and landscape. And I think it's been about 3 weeks since I last posted, and I'm sorry for that. Here we are past the decaying blackberry bushes that were hanging so beautifully rich a few weeks ago and are still freezing in my freezer for Sunday crumbles. It is a Sunday and it happens to be my first day off for about 3 weeks as well. So I've been buzzing around like a September wasp looking for its roosting place. They don't roost, do they? Wasps don't roost. I'm trying to be too poetic. Like a wasp, like a busy bee is what I'm trying to say, but in a slightly more interesting way. I don't know why that's necessary. Here we are. Look at that sunlight. I've had a few adventures over the last few weeks here in Wiltshire and around about the country. I've posted quite a few pictures of where I've been if you're interested in my exploits, and there's been a great deal to think about around the land and about the future, particularly of the church's heritage. A fascinating meeting last week at the Wiltshire and Swindon History Centre, where all of the diocesan archives and parish records are kept. This is an aspect of our permeation as a church into the culture which I've always found interesting. It's a shared legacy, because of course parish governance was local government for many hundreds of years in this country until the beginning of the 20th century. So much of what we now explore for local history, for family history, resides in parish records. And we were having a great useful meeting about how we share the care and responsibility for these records in future generations. Effie's here, look. She's just chewing on a stick and a bit of beech mast. Come on, Eff, off we go. Then there's been visits to various cathedrals and along the way, and numerous meetings and services, harvest festivals of course. This is what the church now calls Creation Tide this season, just coming to the end of it, which is a 6-week or so block of time to when harvest festivals takes place, and we think more broadly about the ecological challenges before us, which is a good thing, and it's a pretty fearful thing as well at times, given the situation. And yesterday at Diocesan Synod, Diocese of Salisbury approved its plan for reaching net zero carbon in the next few years. A huge challenge for us, but a spur. That's the whole point of making it difficult by 2030. Anyway, along the way, I met with a fine colleague who's retiring in the next couple of weeks here in Wiltshire, who shared with me a lovely verse from the book of Joel, the book of the prophet Joel, one of the minor prophets in the Old Testament, and a lovely verse saying, "Do not fear, O soil." And there may be other instances, but it struck me as an unusual instance of the promises and the prophecies of God being proclaimed literally to the earth itself, to the soil. Don't be afraid, O soil, and rejoice and be glad. And it's a prayer or a promise of trust in God's provision. And then he goes on to say the same to the creatures of the field, for the wilderness is fruitful, or will be fruitful. I thought that was a great going to ground verse, and that's really my word for today. Do not be afraid, O soil. That the promise of the Jewish and Christian faith and inheritance is not only for people, and it's certainly not for people living in abstraction from the rest of creation, other creatures, or from the nature of which they're a part. We are to be fruitful and multiply together. Such a vital lesson that we're learning again and again and again. And I commend it to you. And it was good too. One of the things as well along the way, I was involved in another river blessing and met with some pagan friends and talking with them about the areas of difference and common ground in our spirituality, and discussing some of the ways in which rivers in the Old Testament are likewise sacred things, signs of the promise of God. The river of life in the Garden of Eden also flows through the heavenly city at the end of time. Anyway, much to report, but I'm just wanting to check in because it's been a while, and I'll post some more soon, and trust that you're all doing okay. Nice to meet one or two of you as well on my travels. Thanks for coming up, those of you who watch this, and if I ever bump into you, thank you. I'm always so encouraged to meet you and to hear from you, so thanks for that. I'm doing some gigs as well for the new album. There's one in Rugby in a fortnight, if any of you are up that way, and a couple more to come. But I'll leave it at that for now and speak soon. God bless you as you go to ground.